I didn't expect my life to implode in the span of a single afternoon, but that's exactly what happened. My name is Harper, I'm 28, and I've been with Liam for 3 years. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to break hearts, and yet, here I am. Liam is the kind of man most women dream of. Steady, patient, funny in a dry, effortless way, and he's thoughtful without being overbearing. He never forgets my coffee order, my favorite snack, or the little details that make me feel seen. I knew he loved me. I knew I loved him too, or at least I thought I did. We met through mutual friends, a casual coffee catch-up that turned into a month-long texting spree, then weekend adventures. 3 years in, and life was comfortable, predictable, and safe. But something shifted in the last 6 months. It was subtle at first, little annoyances I chalked up to stress. Liam started planning our weekends, our meals, even our small errands. At first, I appreciated it. It made life easier. But then it felt controlling. I wanted space, and I didn't know how to ask for it without guilt. And that's when Alex came into the picture. Alex is reckless in all the ways Liam isn't. He's spontaneous, witty, and unpredictable. The kind of person who makes every moment feel like a story. I told myself it was harmless at first, coffee meetups, occasional late-night texts. But I can't lie to myself anymore. It wasn't harmless. Every conversation, every laugh, every glance made me feel alive in a way I hadn't felt in months. The conflict was unbearable. I cared for Liam, but with Alex, I felt something I couldn't name, something urgent and thrilling. Then came last Saturday. Liam had been planning something for weeks, though he kept it under wraps. I didn't suspect anything beyond the usual anniversary dinner whispers and vague excitement. That afternoon, he asked me to meet him at the park near our favorite cafe. When I arrived, he was kneeling in front of me, holding a small velvet box. The world stopped. I could feel my heart thumping in my ears, but it wasn't the excitement of being proposed to. It was panic. I knew I couldn't lie. I couldn't let him think everything was fine when my mind and heart were elsewhere. Liam's voice was steady, confident. "Harper, I love you. Will you marry me?" He opened the box, revealing a simple but beautiful ring. I wanted to scream, to cry, to run. But instead, the words came out before I could stop them. "Liam, I need to tell you something. I'm seeing someone else." For a moment, there was silence so heavy I could hear the leaves rustling above us. His eyes widened, his jaw tightened, and I swear the world tilted on its axis. He didn't yell. He didn't storm off. He just looked at me, as if trying to reconcile the woman he loved with the confession I had just delivered. "You're... what?" he whispered, voice barely audible, like saying it out loud might make it vanish. "I'm sorry," I said, voice trembling. "I didn't plan for this, I swear. But I can't lie anymore. Alex, I've been seeing him." I expected anger, screams, perhaps even violence. Instead, Liam's eyes softened, not with forgiveness, not with understanding, but with an unbearable kind of sadness. "Why now?" he asked quietly. "Why during this?" I swallowed hard.
"I'm glad you came.
How do you explain months of confusion, guilt, and longing in one sentence? Because I couldn't marry you while my heart is elsewhere. I needed you to know the truth before it got worse. I'm sorry," I whispered, my hands shaking. He didn't respond immediately. He just let the words sink in. And then quietly, he closed the box and stood. His hands were steady, even as his eyes glistened. "I guess we need to figure out what this means," he said. Not a question, a statement. I realized he wasn't angry. Not yet. He was processing, like he always does, rational and controlled. That night, we didn't speak much. We walked in silence, the city lights blurring around us. I could feel the weight of my decisions pressing down on me, suffocating. Every laugh, every kiss we shared over the years now felt like a betrayal. Liam didn't yell. He didn't beg. He didn't even cry in front of me. He just existed in that quiet space of disbelief, and I hated myself for being the cause of it. By the next morning, the messages had started. Friends and family who knew Liam reached out, confused, shocked, incredulous. Some assumed it was over for good. Others thought we'd fight, yell, and reconcile. But Liam remained distant, calm, cold. And I realized that was the most painful thing of all. He wasn't reacting like I expected. He wasn't losing himself to anger. He was merely observing, waiting to see the consequences of my choices unfold. Alex, of course, was thrilled. He didn't understand the gravity of what had happened, the destruction left in the wake of my confession. I wanted to tell him, to make him see the reality, but the truth was simpler. I had made my choice, and now I had to live with it. But even as I thought I'd find excitement with Alex, I realized the thrill was hollow. There was no joy in seeing Liam hurt, no satisfaction in betrayal, only a gnawing emptiness that filled the spaces I once thought were love. Over the next week, Liam barely spoke to me, but when he did, his words were measured, precise, cutting through the chaos like a knife. "I hope you understand the gravity of what you've done," he said one afternoon. "Not because I'm angry, but because you need to live with this truth. You wanted freedom, but freedom doesn't absolve you from responsibility." And he was right. I had chosen excitement over loyalty, thrill over stability, and now I had to navigate the consequences. Each day since, I've felt the sting of what I lost, not just Liam, but the version of myself that could be trusted, that could be faithful. The mirror reflects someone I barely recognize, someone reckless, impulsive, craving what I cannot have without destroying what was precious. Liam eventually returned the ring, placed it carefully on the kitchen counter, as if it were a relic from another life. "You've made your choice," he said simply. Not a trace of bitterness, only quiet clarity. Live with it. And with that, he left the apartment, leaving me alone with the weight of my decisions. It's been weeks now, and I've learned something I didn't anticipate. The thrill of betrayal fades faster than I imagined, replaced by an emptiness that no excitement can fill. Liam hasn't tried to contact me. He hasn't fought. He just exists, moving on in his life while I am trapped in the consequences of mine. And in those quiet moments of reflection, I understand something painfully obvious. Love isn't just about excitement or desire. It's about presence, respect, and loyalty. And when those are broken, nothing, no thrill, no rush, no affair can repair the damage. I told my boyfriend I was seeing someone else during his proposal, and now my life is chaos. I expected anger. I expected confrontation. But what I got was a lesson in clarity, in consequences, and in the quiet devastation that comes from choosing yourself over someone who trusted you completely. Liam doesn't hate me. He just exists without me, and that is far worse than any argument, any scream, any tear. Sometimes I catch myself imagining how life would have been if I had stayed silent, if I had said yes, if I had chosen loyalty over desire. But the truth is, that's not who I am, or at least not the Harper I've become. And so I live with this choice, haunted by the eyes of a man who loved me completely and left me to live with the consequences of my own actions.